Hola from Madrid!
Hey!
Finally eating my first bite of Spanish omelette after being in Spain for so many days. This is something I've been looking forward to for a while. No, it's stuffed with potatoes, served with 2 slices of bread, seasoned with a tomato relish, some kind of a tomato relish. I'm going to try what this is.
On my first day in any new city, I always love to go on walking tours to get to know the city a little bit better. So of course I'm doing the same thing in Madrid. This walking tour is taking me to see Plaza Mayor and a couple of other important squares in the city, finally ending at the Royal Palace. The official residence of the Spanish royal family, Madrid's Royal Palace, is a magnificent structure. A fun fact, this is the largest royal palace in Europe and has 3,418 rooms. The palace is ornate and opulent, and you will be wowed by the decorative elements, including tall ceilings, frescoes, sculptures, chandeliers, grand staircases, and gilded carvings. The king's and queen's apartments, and especially the dining room, are also worth visiting. The entry ticket, along with audio guide, will cost you €38, and I think this palace is a must visit when you're in Madrid, because it is, after all, the capital city. I'm here in this square called Puerta del Sol, which means Gate of the Rising Sun. I've just arrived in Madrid today in the afternoon and just been walking around the city. It feels amazing. The city is so vibrant. It's full of like these kind of squares. There are shopping districts, there are restaurants, cafes. There's the Royal Palace. There are heritage buildings, government offices. There's so much to explore when in Madrid. Right now we're in the middle of the main square of Madrid called Puerta del Sol, and right behind us you can see the statue of a bear and a tree. So Niyati here is going to tell us the significance of this statue and what's the short history behind it.
Sure. So where we are standing, like she said, is called Puerta del Sol, which is close to Plaza Mayor. The statue is the statue of the bear and the strawberry tree. So the history goes that there was a point in the 13th century when the clergy and the royalty had a conflict going on, and in order for their conflict to be settled, it was decided that they would work in harmony. It was decided that the woodlands, which is represented by the strawberry tree, would belong to the royalty, and the animals would belong to the clergy. And so they decided to work together in harmony for the well-being of the city. Now the fun fact is that, like you can see behind us, people are coming to rub the bum of the polar bear. That's because they say that the bum has a golden potion, and they say that if you rub it, you shall get good fortune.
So guys, make sure whenever you visit, rub the bum pretty well. That's what I'm going to do now. We all need some good fortune. This square I'm in right now is called Plaza Mayor. This beautiful and massive square, as you can see, is actually quite important. So this square has been home to a lot of different things, right from different historical events, different customs and practices. It used to also be a site where bullfights used to be held before, and now it's sort of like this huge sprawling square. A lot of these buildings that you see surrounding the square have government offices. Many of them have actually also been converted into high-end Airbnbs where you can actually book yourself when you're here on a holiday. It is in the center of the city, so it's super accessible from everywhere. So if you're looking to splurge a little bit, maybe you can book yourself at an Airbnb here. The square also has a statue of King Philippe III in the middle. And of course, apart from this, there's lots of cafes, restaurants and stores everywhere, like everywhere else in Madrid. So I'm out to try out some local food. I'm here right now at the San Miguel Market or San Miguel Mercado. So just similar to how Barcelona has Mercado de la Boqueria, Madrid has the San Miguel Mercado, and here you can find a selection of local food. You have empanadas, you have your jamon iberico, you have different kinds of breads, you have all kinds of seafood. And so we found this amazing seafood stall and we have called for a lobster croissant. It looks divine. It just looks simply divine. I'm going to try it and see how it tastes. Now this market is a little bit expensive. It's a little touristy, so things are a bit overpriced, but amazing. Totally worth it. The exploration of any city cannot be complete without trying out its special, authentic local food. And people told me that in Madrid, you have to try out this particular Madrid special sandwich. Now, this is called bocadillo de calamari. Basically, this is a calamari sandwich. As you can see, there are these calamari or squid, fried squid rings, which are stuffed inside this baguette sort of a bread. And this is a Madrid specialty. So, whenever you come to the city, this is something that you have to try. So I've come to one of these really old school sandwich shops over here. Pretty nice. Actually, it doesn't have much seasoning. It's just the fried calamari rings inside a bread. Well, actually, I'm fine with it because I really enjoy calamari. If you don't, you might want to add up some spice on it because in itself it's pretty bland. But the squid is perfectly fried or cooked, so that makes it. The one thing I've been waiting for the most, I am trying out churros tonight, and I'm here at this place called San Ginés, which is the oldest churro shop in Madrid. It has been around since the year 1894, if I'm not wrong, and they serve your classic churros with chocolate, of course. So I'm going to dip my churro in it. I've heard their churros are to die for.
जो है उसको दे दो।
Yum. Hola, welcome to Toledo. We are at the beginning of our day trip to Toledo, and as you can see, the gorgeous town of Toledo is right behind me. We are here at this panoramic viewpoint which gives you a gorgeous view of the city. I cannot wait to go ahead and start exploring it. We're going to see the cathedral, we're going to see a bunch of other buildings, so I'm going to tell you more about it once we go inside the city. I've spent the last hour just roaming around the Toledo Cathedral, and it has to be one of the most beautiful buildings I have seen in my whole life. So Toledo basically is known as the city of three cultures because there is influence from three different religions over here. You have Christianity, you have Islam, and you have Judaism. So basically the entire architecture and the culture is actually a reflection of like a confluence of the Muslims, the Christians, and the Jews. The church is of course the most important element over here because this is actually the seat of an archbishop who is the second most important religious figure after the Pope. So right next to this cathedral you'll find the archbishop's residence as well. So this is one of the most important religious centers in the world, and the cathedral is supposed to be the second largest cathedral in the world, following only the one which is in Seville right now. So this is literally the world's second largest cathedral. It's so massive, it's so beautifully done up, fresco paintings, marble sculptures, and there's even a beautiful outdoor section that is open to tourists. So the entry ticket to the cathedral is 12 euros for foreign tourists, and you'll take about an hour or 2 hours. I could actually even sit here for hours and enjoy this. But yeah, whenever you're coming to Toledo, you have to stop by at the cathedral. It's too beautiful to miss out on. So I'm here in Toledo right now and I'm about to do something really, really interesting. I'm headed to a brujeria or a witchcraft museum. This sounds like something really interesting and a little bit creepy. Let's see what's there inside. Voila! I'm trying out marzipan, which is a local specialty here in Toledo. Now, there's a very interesting story behind it. As I've already told you, Toledo has a confluence of Christians and Muslims and Jews. So, for a while, this place was actually occupied by the Arabs, and during that Arab occupation, the people of the convents, the nuns, they had very limited resources. There was basically a lot of scarcity of food. So people of the convent basically came up with this idea that they only had sugar and almonds, like basically dry foods that were available with them. So they sort of powdered the almonds, added them with sugar, and came up with marzipan, which is now a local specialty. You will find shops selling marzipans everywhere throughout Toledo. So I stopped by at this shop called del Marzipan to pick up some marzipan. This is basically just crushed almond flour and sugar. Cheers. I hope you enjoyed this journey across the capital city, Madrid. This was my last episode of the Spain series. Next up in my Europe series is Portugal. So do come back for that video. Until then, please hit the subscribe button.